In this gentle yoga class, this sequence, you'll want to use blocks and a strap, and if you don't have those, you can improvise. We are in a much slower pace than our usual yoga practice. We hold the poses longer, and we focus on the breath, and it's a way to really honor yourself, to come to the mat with a sense of purpose, that purpose being to slow down, to be more easeful. Now that doesn't mean you're not engaging in the practice. As you may know, it's sometimes much harder to hold poses than to move quickly from one pose to the next. So in this gentle and restorative yoga practice, we'll start lying down. Bend your knees. Pull your right thigh in. Reach your left leg out. Lying down is a wonderful way to start your practice. It's a wonderful way to get grounded. And a good way to really attune to your breath and to the muscular action of the poses. With your right foot reaching toward the sky, keep your right knee bent. Hold onto your right foot or hold onto your right shin and draw your right knee just a little bit closer to the earth. Have your toes be active. Spread your toes as a way to engage and tone the muscles of your leg. Release your right foot down. Bend both knees. Draw your left knee up. Interlace your fingers right at the shin bone and draw your left knee just slightly to the outer left ribs. Breathe in deep, even with the left thigh really close to your ribs. See if you can still expand the breath. Even with the hip in this full flexion. You can reach your right leg out and you might feel a little pulling sensation, a little stretch right at the pant leg crease. Engage your leg more fully by spreading your toes. Spread your toes up the left side. Draw your left foot up toward the ceiling. Hold on to either the foot or the shin and hold the pose. You might even want to urge your right thigh to draw a little bit closer to the earth. So as you draw the left knee toward the earth, rather than letting the right thigh pop up, just encouraging it to draw down just slightly. Release your left foot with your knees bent, with your feet together. Take your knees wide apart. Bend your elbows and press your elbows down as you get a nice lifting quality of the heart. The more you press your elbows down, take the heads of your arm bones, your shoulders back. From there, lift your pelvis up. Hold the pose. Have the breath be very full, very bright. Slowly take your pelvis down to the earth. Fold your inner knees in toward each other and step your feet hip distance apart. Fold the right thigh in once again. Take the right ankle to the outer left knee. Take both hands with the hands stacked. Take your hands right at the pant leg crease to encourage the right thigh to move away from your waistline. You're getting a nice hip stretch here. Release your right foot back to the floor. Hug your left leg in. Draw your left ankle to the outer right knee. And stack the hands. Press the stacked hands to the very top of the thigh, not to the knee. See if you can just create a little bit more space. When you allow yourself to just go very slowly into these poses and just consider each of the actions and how you can enhance the actions, you go so much deeper into the practice. It makes you feel very easeful. So see if your breath now can match that easeful feeling that you start getting when your spine is so supported by the floor. Release your left foot down. Walk your feet together again. Take your knees wide apart. Press your feet very firmly in toward each other. And see if you can scoot your feet maybe a little bit closer to the pelvis. With your elbows pressing down, the fingers spread, the heads of the arm bones back, and the chest lifted, the head pressing back so you engage the muscles nicely. Slowly lift your pelvis up. Stay in this supine Baddha Konasana pose, like a bridge, with nice fullness, nice openness to the front side of your body. Breathe in deep and breathe out long. Breathe in deep and out long. Release your pelvis to the earth. Fold your knees in toward each other. Step your feet hip distance apart. Stretch your right leg out. Stretch your left leg out. Reach your arms up and over your head. And with your left hand to your right wrist, get a nice stretch over to the left side. Invite the breath to expand the right side ribs nicely. Release and hold on to the left wrist with the right hand. Just inch your fingers over toward the right side. And pause. Once you feel like the hands have moved further to the right in such a way that you can pause and hold the pose, but yet get just a little bit more refinement through the breath as you expand from your pelvis up to your armpit. Nice ease in your breath. Now come back to the center position. Bend your knees. Reach your right arm up and over your head and come to lie in a fetal pose. As you lie on your side, just get this nice ease in the pose. Take your left hand to the top of your left thigh with your inner big toes touching, inner heels touching. Lift up your left leg. Reach it up and slowly release it down. The placement of your left hand is to create just a little resistance so that we can work on the abduction, the abduction here. So keep a nice ease about the movement as you lift up slowly, release down. Inhale, you expand so fully. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Come to the opposite side. Stretch your left arm out with your inner big toes together. Support your head. Take your right hand to the top of the thigh. Lift the top leg up. Draw it down. It's a nice isometric action. You're staying in this very easeful and gentle yoga practice, but you're engaging very fully. All the way from the toes to the pelvis. You engage the leg as it does these movements. The in-breath as you open up in the pose. The out-breath as you release, touching the inner knee. Inhale. Exhale. Now come to all fours position. In all fours position, grab your block. And if you don't have them, we can do this without blocks. Step your right foot right between your blocks. Draw yourself down into the pose and just hold this pose. Walk your blocks back so that they can support a nice opening to the upper chest. And as you allow yourself to just settle into the pose, draw your pelvis down toward the earth more fully. Keep your back legs strong. Just hold the pose as you take a nice in-breath through the nose, out-breath through the nose. Breathe in and take your left arm up and over to the right side. So once again, we got a nice stretch to the left side. Release your left hand to the block. Come back to all fours position where you'll step the left foot right between the blocks and draw your pelvis down. If you feel like the back knee needs a little softness or a little cushioning, by all means, double fold the mat or find a towel to put under the knee. Settle into your pose. So even though the pelvis is dropping toward the mat, can you still find a way to get length from the pelvis to the armpit with the heads of the arm bones drawing back, your shoulder blades drawing in. Receive fullness to the breath. Keep your legs active. You feel this engagement. There's a little inner fire the deeper you go into the pose. If you'd like to take your right arm up to stretch through the right side ribs, let your breath enhance the right side. Nice restorative way to do your lunges, to keep the hips open. Nice ease. You're gently moving from pose to pose in a very slow but steadfast way. Release your right hand to the mat and come back to all fours position. Set your blocks to the side. As you draw your knees wide apart, draw your pelvis back toward your heels. Walk your hands forward. Come to fingertip top position. And let your head just release. Now some of us can take the head to the floor. I find it really easeful for the neck to support the head
So if you've got your block close by, you can just press your third eye into the block. Keep a nice lift to your shoulders. A nice softness to your facial muscles in breath. Maybe you can inch your fingers forward a little bit more, or take the pelvis back toward the heels. If you're feeling this in the knees, please support the knees. Don't go so far back. Just know your practice, know your limitations. We want this practice to be very restorative and a way to really rejuvenate. But yet to keep engaged in the movement. On your next inhale breath, lift yourself up to come to a seated pose. In your seated pose, have your feet forward. Engage your legs again. You can press your fingertips behind you to get nice fullness. You can always put something underneath your pelvis if it feels like your hamstrings, the back sides of the legs are rather contracted, or bend your knees. And as you reach your arms up, with the knees either bent or straight, see how you can just fold forward slightly, not too deep, just so that you feel a gentle stretch to the back side of the legs. And inhale, lift up. Exhale, draw forward. This time just release your hands to the legs, somewhere that feels right for you. Breathe in deep and out long. Breathe in, breathe out long. Breathe in, breathe out long. On the next inhale breath, lift yourself out of the seated forward bend and come to a gentle stretch. A gentle twist. Fold your legs. And again, you might want to prop yourself up sitting on a blanket or even your blocks. Take your right hand to the outer left leg. Take your left hand just off to the left side of your sit bones. Now, rather than cranking your spine deeper in this pose, walk your left hand further back so the left hand is inching its way toward the right sit bone. Press into the left hand, and now slowly move in the direction of the twist, gazing toward the left side. And slowly come out of the twist. Fold your legs different way because we all have habits. And one habit could be to fold your legs a certain way every time. So in your second favorite way to fold your legs, take your left hand somewhere to the outside of the right thigh. Take your right hand near the right buttocks to begin, but walk your right hand closer to your left side now.
press your left hand very firmly to feel like you're getting length. Now allow your breath to create a little bit more expansiveness in your twist, a little bit more fullness to not only the left side ribs, but see if there's a pathway for you to find for the breath to expand the right side ribs as well. Breathe into it. Just open the gate to welcome in this fullness to the right side. And let that be through the breath. Now release yourself out of the pose. Come to lie on your back. Bend your knees. If you've got blocks, grab your blocks again. Lift your pelvis up, slide one block under. Maybe you can even slide 2 blocks under. So you've got a nice supported lift to your bridge. Pause here. Find a nice ease in your breath. Close your eyes. Feel how the breath just helps you expand so fully on the front side of the body, and how the out breath has already taken you to this place where you feel so restored. You feel so grounded. So you may stay here, or if you wish to lift your feet up off the blocks, you can keep your knees bent or take your feet up. If you'd like to straighten your legs, you can. But we're just getting a nice easeful position for the heart. And by reaching your feet up, you just allow a nice softening in the facial muscles, a more free and natural breath. This supported shoulder stand is not only great for the heart, great for the thyroid. So many benefits to this. Breathe in and you breathe out long. You can stay in this pose for as long as you feel comfortable. If you feel like it's time to come down slowly. Set your blocks to the side. Grab your strap. Reach the strap around your right foot or stay in that pose. And reach your right foot to the right side to get a nice stretch through the pelvic area. For this variation, just keep your left foot on the floor to keep that left side from popping up. Lift your right foot up, bend your right knee, place your right foot to the floor. Take your left foot up
Hold on to the strap. Just reach over to the side while you keep your right hip firmly planted. Keep a nice engagement to the legs. Pull the right thigh in. Release the strap. Extend your legs. Allow your arms to rest with the palms open. Close your eyes. Receive a nice full in-breath and a long out-breath. You breathe in deep and out long. Breathe in deep and out long. You breathe in deep and out long. Breathe very freely and naturally. As you enjoy this time you've given yourself to restore, to reinvigorate, to rejuvenate, to find this place of ease.
Enjoy this time in Savasana. Namaste.